Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading will be the mid-monthly reading for all of the signs for mid-month February. So this covers sort of middle of the month of February through the end of the month, focusing on two specific areas, love and relationships and career and finances. For the love and relationships portion of the reading, I'll be using the Wheel of the Year Tarot and the Romance Angels Oracle cards. And for the career and finance, I'll be using the Good Tarot by Colette Baron-Reid and the Life Purpose Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Okay, obviously, as I always say, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way for you to get a truly personalized reading would be to order a private reading with me. If you're interested, you can take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com, or you could email me at changingphases@gmail.com. Okay, and if you go to my site, you'll find all the pricing as well as the types of videos, the video readings that I offer. Another thing I would suggest is to, besides watching your sun sign reading, also take a look at your moon sign and your rising sign, right? Sometimes the messages, for the one might not resonate with you for that particular period, but the others might. So I do encourage you to take a look at those as well. All right, I think that's it as far as messages go. So I will say goodbye for now, and we'll see each of you in 1 second for the shuffle. Bye for now. Hi Aries, hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your February 2018 mid-monthly reading. We'll start off, as you can see, I've already laid the cards here, really just to try to save a little bit of time. I've been shuffling off camera and laying the spread before starting the video. So we'll get started with the love and romance portion of the reading. And the card that was at the bottom of the deck, so the overall energy for the last 2 weeks of the month, we have the Princess of Swords. In the past position, the Ten of Wands. And it's interesting because you actually have 3 tens in a row here. In the present, we have the Ten of Pentacles. And in the future position, we have 10 of the Major Arcana, the Wheel. So, endings and beginnings. And the Romance Angels card that came out is Deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. So we'll see how this ties in with everything. But let's start off with this Princess of Swords. So the Princess would be the page in the traditional tarot. And Swords energy. Swords energy speaks of, it's cerebral energy. So has to do with our thoughts. It has to do with our intellect. It's the suit of the mind. Our imagination, where we come up with our ideas, our intentions, and it also has to do with communication, how we communicate with other people. When we have court cards, like this card, like I said, it would be the page usually. When we have a court card, it can be an actual person that we're dealing with over the time period. If so, then this would, typically it will be a younger sort of teenager or late or early 20s individual, male or female, it's not gender specific, but an air sign individual. So either a Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini. Or this could be you taking on this energy, or this could just be a situation, an event situation that you're dealing with. In this particular deck, the Princess of Swords is called the Young Lookout, and really speaks of vigilance, being very attentive, right? Paying attention to things, observing things. It also has to do with flexibility, being willing to, to maybe change your view on something based on, an observation, something that you end up observing. This is usually a very a very smart individual. If this is a person, usually this person is very intelligent, is good at using his or her intelligence as well, very good communicator, even though the person it might be younger, is a very just person, a very, very fair, very intelligent, is able to use his or her intellect to resolve problems, situations, things like that, and really ready for action. And you see that she is, things look a little chaotic around her. We have leaves flying around, but she is, she has her sword at her side, and she is being very vigilant, and she is ready for action. But it's more about, look at her observing, right, and trying to see things for what they really are, which is interesting to me because with this deception card sitting underneath it, where the people are not allowing themselves to be seen, right? They're actually covering, they're covering their faces, they're wearing masks. So we'll see how this ties in. So going back to the 3 tens in a row here, which is quite interesting. The Suit of Wands to begin with. The Suit of Wands has to do with, it's the day-to-day activities that we do, right, or that we have in life. So the chores around the house, the work that we do, creative projects, creative endeavors, our own creativity and drive and determination and ambition for getting these things done. It's a suit that kind of has to do with the mundane things in life, and with the tens in the tarot, they're always endings, right? But with an ending, obviously, comes a new beginning, right? And especially when we see this 10 or the wheel card, which is number 10, it speaks of endings and beginnings. And and it's all about cycles and the cycles of life and different cycles, different chapters of our own life, or even within a relationship. I mean, we're looking here, more focused on our relationships. So, relationships themselves go through different cycles, sort of ups and downs. Some cycles, some phases, some chapters are better than others, right? And this 10, so tens, yes, they're endings, but they can also be culminations. They can also be, in this case, the 10 of Wands, it usually has to do with feeling overburdened. And in this case, usually in the traditional tarot, the man is carrying a 10 wands on his back and looking very, very tired. It's very difficult for him to do that. Well, for them, it looks even more difficult because they're carrying watermelons, and think how heavy one watermelon is, and they're carrying 10 of them up the hill, on their way to their home. So it is a card of feeling, a little overwhelmed, overburdened, overloaded, kind of feeling like you're fighting this uphill battle. And, they're actually, trying to make it up this long, windy path to their home. So, for some of you, and this is thinking about relationships, there might, and this is in the past position, so there might have been significant, struggles or issues within the relationship that you had to overcome, and it is a 10. So, I mean, and this, especially appearing in the past position, it does show me that you were able to do it. You have managed to make it up that hill, and what's more important is you've been able to unload all of that, because after the 10 and it's sitting in the past, we have a 1, which is an ace, which is a new beginning. So, you've made it through the most difficult time. You've, whatever this difficult situation was, you've made it through it, right? Which has brought you here in the present to this 10 of Pentacles. So another 10, Pentacles energy is, it's earth energy. It has to do with the material things in life, those things that we can, touch and feel, those tangible material results here in the earthly realm. And, to get to this 10, it doesn't happen overnight. This is something that it accrues over time, which is why many times the 10 is associated with sort of inheritances, that money built up from one generation to the next, and you can see here, not only do they have all of the grapes surrounding them, they have they have actually been able to harvest all of the grapes and make wine for themselves. So, I mean, that doesn't happen overnight either. You have to, leave the grapes to ferment. It takes a while for this to actually happen. So they've been working at this a long time. And you can see that the couple themselves, I mean, they look like an older couple, also sort of speaking to the fact that it has taken them a while. They've probably been together for a while. They've been through a lot together. But the Ten of Pentacles usually, I mean, it shows some type of financial success, right? It's the sort of the happy home and family card. It has to do with prosperity, like that solid home life, material security, actual home, a property. So it's a very good card. It's a very stable card, whereas this Ten of Wands is a difficult energy in the past. This Ten of Pentacles is a very nice energy. It's a very, a solid, strong, happy home and family card. But what comes up here in the future, we have this wheel. And again, another 10. But the Wheel of Fortune, it's a card that speaks of change. I mean, that's the main or the key word, right, that goes along with the wheel. It's all about change. And we can see here on this particular card, it shows we have the 4 seasons, right? And it is a card that speaks of the different seasons, the different, phases in our life, the different cycles in our life, and how each cycle is necessary, right? In order for the spring to begin, the winter has to end. In order for the summer to begin, the spring has to end, and so forth. So it's this, round and around sort of endings and beginnings with the wheel. So this is a significant ending and a significant beginning, with it being a major arcana card. I'm following, these 2 other 10 cards. I mean, there could, for some of you, there could be some type of evolution, something changing within the relationship, new beginnings, an unexpected even, like something unexpected coming in, something quite good unexpected, possibly related to finances, right? Could be following this 10 of Pentacles. There might be some new thing that comes in, or something new that follows this 10 of Pentacles card. So it's a very positive card. And the wheel also has to do with karma. It's a very karmic card. So, if you were on the sort of the downward swing of the wheel before, which possibly you could have been, right, going through this 10 of Wands, now you're on the upswing. So things are going well, things are going in your favor. But then I feel like we have these 2 cautionary cards. So if you're in a relationship and you have had your ups and downs, and now you are, back on this sort of upswing where things are going well for you, I would just say, I think the Princess of Swords here is really just appearing as more of a cautionary card, sort of asking you to, keep your guard up. I mean, I know that it might sound a little strange to say keep your guard up in a relationship, but it's important to sometimes, especially when you've been in long-term relationships. I mean, I know a lot of people who, even though they thought they knew the person very well, ended up not knowing them at all, and were very surprised by, things that the other person did, and, they eventually ended up getting divorced. But because they weren't vigilant, they weren't sort of seeing the person or seeing things for how they really were. So I think this card does come in just as more of a caution, to beware of any form of deception, or to keep your eyes peeled, keep your eyes open. But for the most part, I would say that it looks as though this is a long-term relationship. I don't feel that, I mean, there could be, if we look at this, from a different vantage point, if we look at this as you're single, And then this could have been, even you being single for a long time and having to face a lot of things, alone. Maybe in your home life, you've accrued, like alone with your family. If you have children, you've accrued quite a bit of financial security here. And then things start to change, and maybe this is a time for a new relationship. So this, the wheel is turning and a new cycle is starting in your life. For others, this could be, like I was saying, it could be a long-term relationship where you've had difficulties, you've had your good times, you've had your bad times, and now things are on the upswing. But let's take a look at this deception card. I like to read the full description for the oracle card. So this card says, this card is a loving nudge for you to beware of deception within a relationship. This could involve something mild, such as run-of-the-mill politeness, where your partner is afraid of offending you by sharing true feelings. Perhaps you're the one wearing the mask because you aren't disclosing something to your partner. Deep down, you know what this card pertains to. The romance angels are trying to protect your heart. Please say this invocation either silently or aloud. Romance angels, I ask that you give me very clear guidance that I can easily notice and understand to reveal the truth about this situation to my conscious awareness. Then, notice and trust the signs that follow. This card is also a reminder to you about the importance of being genuine with your partner. Although discussing your true feelings may be uncomfortable, it will improve your relationship on many levels. So yes, I mean, this, again, it doesn't have to be, a very sinister, deception. No, it doesn't have to be. It could just be something that's like the guidebook is saying here. Something as simple as, you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, so you pretend that you really love basketball or football, and just to go along with that person and watch a game or something like that, but you really can't stand it. So it's that type of thing. Or maybe, it's the opposite, where you try to include your significant other in things and they really don't like it, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. But so just, again, be mindful, keep an eye on that. But endings and beginnings, endings and, possibly endings to difficult phases and new beginnings with unexpected new things coming in within the relationship. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, let's move the camera over. Sorry for the movement here. Okay, here we go. So we have, for the shifting gears here, for the finance and career portion of the reading, we have as the overall energy, the King of Air. This would be the King of Swords in the traditional deck. In the past position, we have Major Arcana number 15, Temptation. In the present position, we have the Four of Earth, or the Four of Pentacles. And in the future positions, so the outbound energy for the month of February heading into March, we have the Six of Fire, or the Six of Wands. And the life purpose card that came out for you is Builder. Your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Okay, so starting off with this King of Air. So interesting that for the relationship reading, you had the Princess, right, the Page of Air, or of Swords. And for this reading, for the career and finance, you have the King of Air. So again, cerebral energy, thoughts, right? It's mental energy. But with the King, yes, again, this could be a person. And if so, this would typically be an older air sign individual. So either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, right? Not gender specific. But, the kings and queens of the tarot, they have really mastered that particular suit. So, the King of Swords, he has really mastered the suit of air. So he's somebody who's very intellectual. He knows how to use his intellect to the best of his ability. He prefers to use his intellect, right, to solve problems. He doesn't like conflict. He prefers to use his intellect to diffuse any type of conflict or disagreement. He's calm. He keeps his emotions under check. He's very sort of he's it's not that he's cold and without emotion. It's just that he relies on his intellect to handle whatever situation he is dealing with. He's very fair, right? He's a very just individual. Sometimes this King of Air appears when you are seeking counsel. So, for example, seeking out could be the help of a lawyer. It could be a judge, right? Something to do with the courts. It could be any other person who would be able to provide you with some type of counsel, right? Counselor or counseling. But since he has this, or he's sort of tied to fairness and, being just, we kind of associate him more with, law, order. Could be a police officer, somebody, within the police force. Or again, if it's not a person, this is you taking on the energy of this King of Air. Or this could just be, a situation that you're dealing with, right? A situation that has to do with needing to, use your intellect to diffuse a particular situation, or it could have to do with, the law, actually the law. If so, then, it's good for you to listen to whatever this person has to tell you, because they're going to give you sound advice. There's definitely sound advice coming in from this person. So let's see. In the past position, we have temptation. So temptation would be, in the traditional tarot, it would be the devil, right? And the devil is associated with when, looking at it from sort of career finance point of view, the devil would be associated to earthly pleasures, earthly, even like materialism, those earthly, tangible. We see here on the card, in this deck it's called temptation, but you see how there's this treasure chest there, and so this unhealthy sort of attachment to material things, a lot of times temptation appears sort of when it's a relationship reading, it appears when there's an unhealthy attachment to, another person, or if we're in a relationship with one of those, toxic type of individuals, or it's a toxic relationship, something that is not, is not good for us. But we're looking here more at finance and career. So, it does have to do with attachment to the material world, which, is not, it's okay in moderation, but obviously in excess, it's not good. When we're so focused on the material realm, which can also play out in the form of, attachment to sort of material pleasures, such as, drinking or drug, use of drugs or things along those lines. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be material things, like finances, money. But this is in the past. So, this could be just you have left this behind. Maybe you did, or you were dealing with some type of excessive, attachment to something material, which is interesting because in the middle position, we have this Four of Earth, which is oftentimes referred to as the miser card. And it's, earth energy, much like we had over here with the Ten of Pentacles. So the Pentacles, once again, material, right, tangible things here in the material realm. But the Four of Earth is usually about, it's that unhealthy attachment, once again, to money, right? To worrying excessively about it. So it's even, you might have accrued, a decent amount of money, and that's good, but it's, it's not good if you want to hold on to your money, too much, or if you're not willing to share with others, and you run the risk of turning into sort of the miser, So it's about balance. It's also about having sort of a healthy outlook when it comes to our finances and material possessions. Yes, it's nice to have control over our finances and be able to afford those material things that we want in life. But and obviously it's good to plan, and it's good to think about how we're spending our money. All of those things are good. But we also, we kind of run the risk of being too possessive or too controlling and not wanting to share, and that's when we kind of go back into this, this negative devil kind of mentality. So just be careful with that. But then what you have as the outbound energy is a very positive victory card. The Six of Fire or Six of Wands is the victory card. It's a card that speaks of, fire energy has to do with, again, with the day-to-day things in life. So the jobs that we do, it has to do with creative projects, creative collaborations. And Six of Fire is the victor. Usually in the traditional deck, there's a man and he's riding in on a horse and he's wearing the laurel wreath, right, of victory, and he's gone up against his adversaries and he's victorious. So he's riding in feeling very good about himself. It's also a card of receiving accolades, right? Receiving some type of recognition. So this could be, within the workplace, this could be you receiving some type of bonus. This could be you receiving some type of actual recognition for a job well done. Just looking back here at this King of Air. This could have to do with, going back to these two cards together with the King of Air, this could have to do with you seeking out counsel, but some type of financial, like a financial advisor, some type of counsel is, or, it is coming up to tax season. So possibly, seeking out the help of an accountant or somebody, who's even like a tax lawyer, somebody who's more, or knows more about the tax, doing your taxes. Maybe this is you seeking out this person's help, because you want to hold on to, your money. You don't want to pay more than your share as far as taxes go, but you want to make sure that you are paying obviously the right amount. But whatever it is, there's some type of recognition going on here. And this King of Air is definitely, I feel that he is related to this, the material, getting away from this material attachment, or helping you out with something here within the, your finances, or possibly it could have to do with him being a lawyer. I do get that. But again, you leave the month victorious, so, whatever this might be, if you are dealing with a lawyer, or, you are going, or dealing with the government, that things are going to work out, they're going to go in your favor. You're going to be able to figure things out here. You're going to leave this, whatever this attachment or this unhealthy, relationship to material possessions or money, you're going to leave that behind and you're moving ahead now. And then you have this Builder card. So let me read you. I like to read the full description for this one too. The Builder card says, your inherent interest in structure and design has led you to develop an eye for design and skillful construction. You're naturally inquisitive and you want to understand the mechanics and engineering secrets behind everything. To you, a beautiful building is a testament to humankind's creative abilities. Your soul longs to create because your sole purpose is to build. You love new projects that you can sink your teeth into, especially when you can merge plans with creativity. Even if you're not involved in literally erecting a structure, you may enjoy building automobiles, computers, gadgets, airplanes, or other machinery. You're also good at starting new ventures, and you enjoy a healthy balance of leadership qualities along with teamwork ability. You drew this card as encouragement to explore new ways to be a builder. For example, you can build a successful business from scratch, or your inner guidance may direct you to build muscles as you get more involved with physical fitness. The sense of accomplishment you receive from building something is your soul's reward. It's interesting. No, I was trying to something coming through from this King of Air again, but I think those were the main messages that needed to come through. So I do hope that they have helped you. I thank you very much for joining me here today. I look forward to reading for you again. And just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light for a wonderful rest of the month. Bye for now.